Welcome to a very special episode of the movie Propcast. Today we are joined by Sian from Propstore. They're doing the Propstore Live Auction London 2022. It's going on Thursday, November 3rd through Sunday, November 6th. Very exciting. We've been thumbing through your catalog. You can check that out at propstoreauction.com. Obviously, I'm Justin. This is Tyler, and we're just so excited to just look at just a few pieces that we can relate to from our podcast and episodes that we've done in the past. But there's so much more going on with Propstore this upcoming weekend.
Absolutely. We've got about 1,500 lots up for auction across 4 days. So get the coffees on standby, or the beers, whichever is your preference, depending on your time of day when it airs. And we've got some really, really cool pieces here. I love that they're from the 90s. That's my era. I can talk about it all day. And it's, just one of our most exciting times of year to offer all of this stuff to people who clearly love it as much as we do.
You guys are like really living our dream, because the premise is, imagine you had a house with an infinite amount of space and filled it with your favorite props, and you guys get to do that every day, and it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, this is the culmination of a year's worth of work. So we've got sort of £11 million worth of stuff, anything from Yoda's robes to Noel Gallagher's guitar, because we've started doing music this year as well. So we've got iconic stuff from every walk of life, from the kind of £250,000 Superman costume to £1,200 ID. It's something for everyone.
Absolutely incredible. Yeah, like I said, going through the catalog, I went through every single page. I can't stop. Like, it's just like something that you just look at and you're like, these are films that you grew up loving, and you've just to be able to say you own a piece of any film, even no matter how small or big. Obviously, Superman's costume is incredibly. That's amazing. That's like the prop, of Superman. Like, that's the one. That's probably the biggest piece I think going right now. But yeah, just I don't know how. On a day-to-day basis, I mean, you're kind of like you said, you live in the dream. Like, that room right there is so exciting. I don't know how you can control yourself and just not be running around. I mean, obviously you see it on every day, so maybe you're a little numb to it. But if we were there, I don't know how we'd have conversations with people. Yeah, it would be very exciting.
We keep giving people tours, so we're kind of in the middle of nowhere, and we have all these people kind of coming over, like outside of London, and it's just like, okay, where do I start? And so we kind of like move them from one cabinet to the other and just lead them around, because like you say, it's
right. That's very,
like, where do you start?
I think the one thing about props is a lot of people might not even realize it. Like, casual moviegoers are watching these films and they're like, oh, these are really cool things, and they're not noticing a lot of this stuff. But when they see it like this on a table, right, it's just there, and there's pieces, and then they realize, oh, these are real things that you can own. There's always a draw. There's always like an excitement for that, because you can immediately identify a piece and be like, oh my God, that's the Batarang from Batman. Like, that's amazing. Like, I just feel like that feeling is universal for anybody who loves movies. That's what's exciting.
Absolutely, that's our target audience. So anyone who has any kind of connection to these films, the hope is that they will see these items and just immediately go, oh, I remember seeing that film with my dad when I was 7, which is what we get a lot of people saying about the Star Wars stuff that they love. Or for me, I remember seeing The Mummy in the cinema so many times. I've lost count. It's a real nostalgia thing as well.
Yes.
And if you can get something that is so instantly recognisable, you can just be like, look, mate, I've got this in my house.
Yes. So let's get started. Obviously, there's some exciting stuff that we can relate to here from our podcast, right in front of you even. Let's start with the Batman. Obviously, that is Batman's Batarang from Robert Pattinson's the 2022 The Batman, and it's seen prominently, obviously, in his suit, and it's on his chest. But this one, I know we watched a video just a couple days ago to just kind of get a little closer look at it, and it's so detailed. And obviously, if you get to see it, obviously you've seen it closer than we have, even in some of these videos. But tell me how you acquire something that new. Like, you know what I mean? That movie just came out, released this year. It's always, you have props spanning decades, back in time, and this is probably one of the newer props, I'd imagine.
Yeah, it's actually really rare to get something from kind of a DC movie or Marvel, Disney, any of those really big studios, because they're very aware nowadays of the value of them. And so they like to keep them in their archive if they'll do like museums and things like that. But this one, spectacularly, actually comes with a certificate of authenticity from Warner Brothers. So they've officially kind of let this one out into the wild with their blessing. I believe it was part of maybe a charity auction. So one, it's amazing to have something from a 2022 film.
Yes.
And two, to have that kind of provenance with it. It's just fantastic. And like you say, it's incredibly detailed. Like all the scuffs that you can see in it, the tiny little screws. It's quite nice to see it outside the suit as well.
For sure. Yeah, I think that's one thing that movie did really well was keeping everything kind of grounded. You know what I mean? A lot of you see other Batarangs and it's like, oh, it's like a perfectly smithed, like beautiful piece of metal. Like, why would you even want to throw that? It looks too valuable, right? Like this. This one's like you could see somebody making something like this, and obviously in the movie it's year 2 Batman, so he's seen some things, and you can tell that thing has actually seen some things. The way that they've done the details on that. Yeah,
it's not perfect and pristine, like you say. It's well used.
It definitely looks worn, and it's supposed to be made out of resin, but it looks like even from here it looks very much metal.
The skill of prop makers is just phenomenal. They can make things look like completely different to what they are.
Those edges look like knives. Like it looks.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you'd
Yeah.
be. I assure you, I'm not getting cut. But yeah, they're on film. They definitely look like they could do some serious damage.
I'm gonna admit, Doyle, he did draft this as his first prop. Well, he drafted the whole suit, so he technically owns that between the two of us. And
yes,
I'm
in our imaginary world of drafting the props in the film. Yes, the Batman suit did go first, and we did throw the Batarang in as its own. You know, because it is part of the main suit, but obviously here. It's a standalone piece, so that's exciting that someone's going to be able to get a piece of that film. Like you said, it's so new. How far back do you know off the top of your head? Like what's say like the oldest prop that you guys have going on right now in the catalog, or roughly, give or take?
Oldest prop. Well, we've got not necessarily from a film, something that Marilyn Monroe drew when she was 12 years old.
Wow,
so that's quite
when
old.
She was 12.
Star Wars is 76.
Yeah,
The flare gun from Lawrence of Arabia, Peter O'Toole's flare gun.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Yeah. See, that's
60s.
the contrast of that is just the difference in it spans literally all the years. So yeah. Let's move on to The Fifth Element. I know this is one of Tyler's favorite movies of all time. He loves this movie so much. He had the first pick in this whenever we did this because he nominated the movie. But that hand wound up being drafted second overall, just past just after the 4 elemental stones from the film. That was I think one of the first overall pick in the draft. But the importance of the severed hand, obviously creating Lilu in the film, it's the Mondashauans. That's actually the hand there. Those were some interesting creatures. Whether they were creatures or they were people wearing armor, I'm still trying to figure that out about that movie. That was the one thing where to create Lilu from that hand was a very interesting process.
Yeah, and the title does give it a slightly gorier implication than it actually is. It's not actually Mila Djokovic's severed hand. Which I got a bit freaked out when I first read it. But no, the Mondos, I love them. They're just like all big and cuddly. We've got a full size one as part of our collection. Yeah, the only kind of known one that we have got, the only one we know to exist. Got a full one. It's labelled Jerome inside, so every time I come in, I'm like, hey, Jerome.
That's so awesome.
But this piece, like you say, it creates Lilu. It is essentially the beginning of the fifth element. And Sarah, I don't know if you can get it, but on the kind of fingernails, you've actually got the elements on them.
That's awesome. Yeah.
I love
such
that.
A lovely little detail.
It's such a great detail. Like he said, that's one of my favorite movies. It's just like a comfort movie for me. Yeah. And just seeing that they took the time to do something like that, like put the elements on their hands, something no one would ever see. And that's so cool.
Very surprised at the detail. Obviously, looking at those creatures, like we said, like it is a very strange shaped being, right? Like the bodies are so big, like they couldn't, obviously you see in the movie, they can't move fast enough. They really should be able to move faster. Like, I don't know why you'd... I don't know. I don't know how that creature survived for that long. But yes, the hand, though, I'm very surprised. If you look at the pictures, you can go to propstoreauction.com and see closer pictures of this hand. Very detailed. Like I like you said, like in the film, like it gets a couple shots, right? Obviously they show it. But to see that creature and see the intricacies of just the severed hand, it's really cool that the details that go into that.
Yeah, just like you say, a couple of shots, it grows Lulu, and then you never see it again.
Yes.
But it's absolutely beautiful. I love that film. I think my top draft piece for that film would probably have to be the multipass.
Multipasses. Those got picked.
Multipass.
Those did get picked in the draft. Yes.
Doyle actually got the severed hand, the multi-passes, and he got Jerome. He got a full Mondeshaun suit. Too.
Yeah, I wanted the Mondeshaun because it is, like you said, looks like a big cuddly friend. Like I would befriend these alien creatures, no questions. I wouldn't even doubt it. I'd be like, yeah, we're going out, we're gonna hang out. This seems like a nice, friendly character. So, yeah, that's awesome. Let's move on to the Inception. Let's move on to Inception and Cobb's spinning top totem. This one, no brainer, first overall pick in our movie Propcast draft. It obviously is the most important piece in the film. It's the most iconic piece in the film. I mean, the totems were so integral to what was going on in the film, and obviously to keep everybody grounded in reality and try to figure out what, whether they were dreaming or not. And obviously the last frames of the film, you're left to wonder, like, what is happening? And it's on this. So this thing gets an incredible amount of screen time. It has an incredible amount of importance, and it's incredible that you guys have it. That's so great.
Yeah, it's actually made of steel, so it's kind of been handmade, really. But it's sort of beautifully weighted. I would spin it, but I can't with the gloves. But one of our photographers has managed to get a GIF on one of the online listings. So if you go to propstoreauction.com and go to this listing, you'll see it kind of just spinning perpetually, which is quite disturbing to see.
Yes.
I actually love that you can see the tone of the movie just in the design of the prop. Like, it's not a clean, polished top. Like, it's worn very much like the cities, very much like Cobb himself. Like, you can see the tone of the movie just in the prop itself, and that's amazing. Like, my wife got me a replica of the top because she knew I loved Inception so much. And it's very much clean, and it doesn't look like that looks. That looks like that came straight from the world of Inception.
Yes, it's tarnished and ever so slightly, so it does have a little bit of an orange hue just through age and being handled a lot on set. But similarly to the Batarang, it's like you don't want things to look new and pristine. Like there's a definite art to making it look used enough. And just make it just seamlessly fit into what it is that's going on in the action and the decisions of the designers as well.
I think one of the most incredible things, obviously, that is so small compared to what's in your background right now, everything. And it doesn't matter how small or big, the impact is known immediately when you see it. You're like, I think that's
Inception.
what's really cool about it's Inception. Yeah. Like, that's it. That's the prop. So you see that and it takes you right back. Like, similarly to like a soundtrack in a film. Like, you hear a song or something from a movie and it takes you right back instantly. You could see this out of context anywhere and go right back to that film. I think that's really cool.
Yeah, and if you live in a studio apartment, it's probably more likely to fit into it than, say, a Mondo Shawan or a Dalek.
Right. Well, that's the thing is, like, I don't think I would have any restraint. Like, I don't care how big or small. I'll find a place for something if it means enough to me. That's the thing, and I think that's what's really cool. It's Propstore's live auction. Yes, London 2022. Go to propstoreauction.com. You can see the catalog. Let's keep it moving. I know that we want to check out the Jumanji tokens and dice from the board game. These things look so cool, and obviously the photos you guys have in the catalog, they do it more justice than the film does. The film, when you're watching the film, the tones are so dark and you don't see the actual, like, the differences of the pieces in color. These are amazing. I love these things. Yeah,
they're beautiful. Again, just simply carved from resin, but they've been decorated so beautifully by hand. You can tell that they're hundreds or thousands of years old from however old the game is.
Yeah.
I haven't rolled the dice. I intended not to roll the dice.
Do not roll
from rolling the dice. But again, other than the board, I don't think you can get anything from that film that would take you back quite as much as the dice and the tokens. So again, as something to have in your home and to be like, that is like my childhood. Like, I saw Jumanji 50 times.
Yes.
Can you tell I watched films a lot as a kid?
Yeah, for sure. No, yeah, I feel like it's awesome that you're so passionate about it. Obviously, you know, people would be able to tell, right? People are, you know, they feed off of your energy whenever this is happening right here. So if you were just there saying, "Oh yeah, this is from Jumanji," and you had no relation to it, it wouldn't be as impactful. I mean, it's obviously exciting for you and us to look at pieces like this.
But I love that they look like they're made from jade or ivory or stone and stuff like that. It's so clever. I've got the utmost respect for prop makers and designers and all those guys.
So with Jumanji being a film you've seen a lot, what would your first pick from Jumanji be if you had to pick one prop?
Oh, the board.
I mean, the board. Yeah, it's got to be the board for sure.
I just had to make sure.
And that did go number one overall. Obviously, it came with the components that you're seeing here, the tokens and the dice. I did see that you guys also are selling you guys are auctioning off it's just the outer piece of that, the Jumanji, the two pieces from that.
Yeah, so it's like the face plate, so where it opens up like that. Oh yeah, Sarah, well done. There we go.
That was very quick. Yeah, very nice. No, that's exciting. So I guess, did that come off of the box? Because in the film, obviously it's connected to the box that opens up, and there's the game board. I'm trying to figure out. Is that just like
they will have made multiples of the different boards. So they made like just solid wooden boxes for running along with. They would have made hero ones that opened nicely and had an inlay. They would have other bits that they like. If they did knock it off the table and it broke the hero one, like for the Stampede scene or something, they might have to replace it. And so they would have had interchangeable bits that they could stick in and stuff like that. And so these are kind of just, I wouldn't say spare plates, but just plates that aren't currently attached to the board.
For sure, absolutely. Obviously, yeah. If you had like in my head when we did this draft, it was like you got the beautiful board, you got to open it a little bit, you got the pieces, like that's a whole thing altogether. But honestly, just having even one of those pieces, you wouldn't want to break the set, but just
we can all pitch together.
Yeah, put them all together. Like that's great. That's probably to me one of my favorite. I mean, that movie was so amazing. Obviously, Robin Williams, rest in peace. The new movies don't necessarily do it justice. They're fun. They're a lot of fun. But they don't, like when we went back and rewatched this Jumanji movie, I was just shocked to see how fun and good this movie. They don't make movies like that anymore. You know what I mean? It just doesn't feel like adventure movies. I don't know. They're not as fun as that used to be. And it was a little darker though. I will admit, when I was a kid, I thought it was a lot. There's some heavy moments in there where you're like, whoa, this is pretty serious. But
yeah. CG has moved on. But in terms of story, I think that's it's pretty safe.
Yeah, those monkeys, those CGI monkeys in that film were kind of scary. That was pretty scary.
Stampede.
Let's move on to the Mummy, the practical mechanical Hominoptera key. This obviously the books in our draft, the books of the living and the book of the dead were the top two picks. They're obviously they look very cool. We saw the videos with Adam Savage's videos where he was there and he was actually like holding it and opening it and thumbing through it. The amount of detail on the books, absolutely incredible. And you have the book of the living there as well. Yeah, look at that. Oh my gosh, that's such a cool design.
It's so heavy as well.
Yeah,
I mean,
yes.
I don't know if you've held one of our catalogues recently. They're pretty heavy, but that is something else.
Yeah, that's what really blew me away is like the mechanical, like it actually opens up. Like it's a real. They didn't mess around. This wasn't just for show.
The great thing about this one is that it's a hero. Sorry, we've deviated to the book.
No, it's fine. Yeah,
it is a hero one. It was made to be opened. They would have also had lightweight ones. So I think a couple of years ago when we had the Book of the Dead, we had the stunt one as well. So it was like all squishy. So when they were running around, they didn't break something that probably took someone months to create.
Right. So we wanted this one, obviously we want to look a little bit closer at the key because as far as importance, I mean, this thing to the film, it drove the entire movie. Like they found the map in there. It really just gets them in trouble pretty much the entire movie until at the end it saves them. So it obviously they get the map. They wind up taking it there. It opens up the Book of the Dead. I think it even opens up Imhotep's sarcophagus, right? Isn't that also?
Yep. It is the key to the film, quite literally.
Yes. Yeah.
But what I love about it is that it's metal. It's not resin. We've not cheated on this one. It has got incredible detail on it, like literally on every single side.
I wonder if there was like research that went into what engravings they put. That
True,
I'm sure
we
you
should
don't
look at
know,
getting
but
it translated.
so, I after watching the movie, I'm okay not knowing.
Yeah, that's probably it's
Whatever
probably
it
for the
is,
best,
don't
right?
say
Yeah,
it. But if you're ready, I'm always scared about doing
You're
this.
going for it. Yeah, that's dangerous. That's a dangerous game.
there we
Wow, that's
go.
awesome.
Yeah.
I'm glad that there's not a map inside waiting for us right now.
Right, yeah. Got to follow it, right? We'd have to. No, that's actually like you said, the weight to these things, it's so much different than especially if it's just for show or it's just something like that. Like the fact that that's an operational unit, like that could be sold away from the movie. Like you didn't even know that has anything to do with the Mummy. Somebody would buy this just based off craftsmanship alone because it's such a cool looking piece. And I think that's what's
Yeah.
exciting about that is, again, it's
I think that's why
identifiable
Adam
because of
loved
the
it as
film.
well.
Yeah, for sure. That's oh my gosh, like that.
It
that's
just looks like a historical piece.
right. That's what's exciting about that, and then also the fact that it is paired with the book at the same time. And they like I read obviously if you watch the video, Adam Savage, you can check it out on YouTube. They talk about it that they came from two different places and they're back this year together. That's actually a pretty incredible story.
Yeah, we do get quite a lot of coincidences like that, and like part of the excitement of putting together the auction is kind of going, oh, what else are we going to get from this film like this year that we can like go, oh look, we've got this and this. So like we've got a model miniature Johnny Five robot from Short Circuit 2.
Oh no!
And then in LA we've got the full size Johnny Five robot from number 1.
Wow.
That
what are
movie
the
is like one of
chances?
my guilty pleasures. Like no one, like I was born. That movie came out like when I was born, and I watched it way too many times coming up. And you just got me so excited. That was.
Oh, I think Sarah's going to try and pan in on our little Johnny Five.
It's the Prop Store live auction, London 22. If anybody wants to know, it's propstoreauction.com. You can get more information. Check out the catalog and just be as giddy as we are to just thumb through everything. Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
God, that's so good.
For
That's so
people
good.
listening to the podcast, it's panning over. Obviously, you can check it out. You can watch the video on our YouTube channel, Movie Propcast on YouTube. You could tune in and see what we're looking at. It's just incredible just to see everything, and the hoverboards in the background from Back to the Future 2. This is I'm losing my mind. This is crazy.
Yeah, we get it. So you wouldn't happen to know? Is there some type of record of if that's the only Hamanoptera key, like the metal key that was made, or do you think there are more heavy metal keys made?
I believe they would have made a couple of those.
Okay, I didn't know if they
just
made
because-
like just one metal and then a couple of like lightweight ones.
I doubt they would have risked, even in
Yeah.
the late 90s, only
Okay.
having one. But it's
Awesome.
it's the first one we've seen. So
Let's move on to something that excites me. Obviously, anything Spider-Man related, I'm all in. But this is the light up Green Goblin pumpkin bomb. Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin, absolutely iconic. And honestly, I don't want to go out. I'm going to go on a limb and just say I think it's probably, as far as movie Spider-Man, got to be his best villain, I think, personally. Obviously, he was the first villain in Spider-Man 1, Tobey Maguire's. So good that they brought him back into the MCU in Spider-Man No Way Home, and he stole the show again.
God.
It's amazing. That whole movie was just incredible. It gave me all the feels. That one felt really good. But this, as far as this pumpkin bomb, you remember there's this scene in the film where it's rolling in. This has got to be the one where it's like rolling in and there's it's just it on the floor, right? And it's lighting up.
so if I do that,
Oh my gosh.
God. I just
That's
got
awesome.
I just got a flash of nostalgia seeing that. That's insane.
Yeah, the LEDs
so cool.
really make this, I think, for me. That's the fact that it goes over. It's that, like, you can just go in and look at it, obviously, and be like, okay, that's a pumpkin bomb for Spider-Man. But the fact that you can light it up and actually make it do that,
yeah.
absolutely
No,
incredible.
I love it. Practical light up props like this are some of our most popular things to collect. Obviously, if it was a static one, like a stump one, still fantastic, like you say.
Yeah.
Like even in the trailer for the MCU one, his introduction was a rolling bomb coming in. So like that's his thing. But to have something that's been engineered and still works 20 years later is brilliant. It's so nicely made. Someone's put a lot of time and effort into these. I can't say how many they made, but
Right.
again, like with the time and effort that it takes to make them, they wouldn't have been making hundreds of them for sure. It's a very unique little piece.
I feel like what we're seeing now, I know none of the most recent Spider-Man. Obviously, oh my God, that's so cool. It's just every time you hit it, it's like, it's awesome. I know you guys have other Spider-Man artifacts. You have suits. You have the mask of the black Spider-Man, the symbiote Spider-Man from Spider-Man 3.
Yes.
I'm just, the new Spider-Man movies, obviously in the MCU. Oh, look at that. That's, oh my gosh. I love, amazing camera. Kudos to the camera person. Amazing. This is
Good job,
awesome.
Sarah.
You're really taking us around the room, and this is really exciting. I guess the one thing now is you see Tom Holland in these new movies, and he's in like a full mocap suit, and you're like, where's the suit? You know what I mean? Like that's what's really tough about these newer movies is a lot of it's just CGI. How's the increase in CGI usage? How's that doing for business for you guys? Like in these newer movies?
It's interesting. Motion capture is definitely kind of visually, I'd say it makes it really exciting in the films. There's a lot more that you can achieve. I think the Iron Man is another good example. Like he started off having to wear suits, and now he just wears dots.
Yeah.
But it's the same with things like storyboards. It's all gone digital, so there's nothing kind of tangible to have and to own anymore. So I think it is a little bit sad that there's not so much real stuff to have anymore. I like that a lot of films are going back to sort of real creatures, like with using prosthetics and stuff like that.
Right.
Like drove me up the wall with The Hobbit, and I was just like, why did you not just use prosthetics? But there's definitely still a place for the real suits and stuff like that. And I hope
it's something you can appreciate. Obviously, you see it in a newer film, and they're taking the time to actually put into the props and the visual. You know, it's like you can kind of give them kudos to that. You're like, all right, I'm a little more interested. And it does kind of make it a little more, because it's I feel like it's so easy to identify CGI now and just be like, oh, okay, yeah, it is what it is, right? But when you see something real, you say, oh man, that's the fact that you can just somebody can hold it, and it's like a prop that's out there in the universe. That's exciting to just know that somebody out there is cherishing that, or it's in a box somewhere. But at least it's somewhere. Like that's what's exciting.
Especially if it's something scary. I feel like I'm going to be more terrified of a real dinosaur than a CG dinosaur.
Yeah. So you guys don't get mocap suits, like screen used mocap suits, like
we have.
Oh,
We've
for
had
real?
them
Really?
from things like Chappie, Terminator 3, I think was it, Sarah? We had the TX. Definitely had a lot of stuff where like getting up with green sleeves because it's been CG'd out and stuff like that.
Oh,
so
that's pretty cool.
we do see it. We do see it for sure.
To wrap up Spider-Man, the Goblin Bomb did get picked 4th overall. I don't know how that makes you feel, but 4th overall. Obviously, the suits, Green Goblin, Spider-Man, those are number 1 and 2. The glider went just before the bomb. The Green Goblin glider in the film. I mean, just the idea of having a glider is cool. I don't know why we haven't made one of those yet. We're getting close.
I will
think.
say, like, I couldn't have that bomb because I'm still staring at it. Like, I would try to throw. I would try to throw. I've been real quiet during Spider-Man. Like, I'm just staring at it. I couldn't have that bomb because I would actually try to throw. Like, I'd scare people with it or something.
Oh yeah, at least roll it. Give it the iconic roll, right? I don't know about throwing it. That would be scary.
Oh my god, that's so nice. I'm
right.
like, I feel starstruck.
Yeah, he's getting distracted. Let's move on to the last movie. Again, it's PropstoreAuction.com. You can check out the catalog. The live auction's going on. It's London 2022, Thursday, November 3rd through Sunday, November 6th. Again, PropstoreAuction.com. Let's move on to Men in Black. This is one of my all-time favorite films, and I know you guys. There's not a whole lot from Men in Black in the film, but in your catalog right now, original Men in Black, I should say, the first Men in Black. You do have a lot more other from 2 and 3. There's obviously so many props in this film. The draft, this particular prop, the Agent K and J FBI IDs didn't get drafted in our draft because there's so many iconic props from the film. However, I really love the detail. Like if you look at the pictures of this in the catalog, you guys do a great job of taking pictures of this. Just the details. It's obviously Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones. It's got their headshots on there. I love that their ID, like their badge numbers, are literally like I don't know. There's no real effort put into it. It's just the same number reversed. I think that's really funny. I don't know if that's something that the prop designers did because they just wanted to do it, or I could see them doing it, like the Men in Black just being like, it's a fake FBI badge or something. You know, just just reverse the number. Like, I think that's really cool little details. But those are awesome.
Yeah, any sort of IDs and stuff like that, especially from comedies, can often be quite tongue in cheek. So unfortunately, I can't verify if it was just having a giggle during the creation of them.
No, that's all right.
But definitely when we've seen newspapers and things like that before, the random stuff they put as filler in newspapers sometimes is just hilarious. Start writing essays about like, oh, so and so had this for tea, and. That, or they just repeat the same bit of Latin over and over again, which is really boring and unimaginative. But
I'm definitely guilty of pausing movies to try to catch what stuff they write on the props. I've done that out of boredom before, so it is hilarious.
Like, we can go back to Spider-Man. Obviously, you guys do have a lot of Spider-Man newspapers, right? And there's some iconic ones, like the ones that they're spinning on the screen and you see it. It's Spider-Man, like he's a menace. But it is like you're trying to figure out it's a newspaper. It's not just one photo. So there is a lot more going on, but you're so drawn to the picture and the headline, and it's shown so quickly. That would probably be a little guilty pleasure of mine if I were you, just walking around for every little newspaper clipping just to see what else is going on.
Yep, and inside as well. Sometimes they
they even go that detailed
as well. Some of them do, just in case.
Okay, that's awesome. Yeah, like you said, Men in Black is the Neuralizer went #1 in the Men in Black draft. Just so you know, I know you would have lost sleep if we didn't tell you, but it's Neuralizer, Cricket Gun, was the top two in those films. But
not some sunglasses. Where did sunglasses come?
Sunglasses. Did we not draft the sunglasses?
We did not.
Oh my goodness. We should have had you on the draft.
A suit. Yeah, we should have.
Well, Orion's belt did go third overall, and we were lucky enough to talk to the person who actually made that. She makes jewelry. Her name's Heidi. It was incredible to talk to her, and she's literally not like in. She's done a lot of films, but she was never like in the movie scene. She just kind of like happenstance. Somebody found her jewelry, and they said, "This would be perfect for our film." And then she had been roped into a lot more films since then. So that was awesome to go back. So if you go back and listen to the Men in Black episode of the movie Propcast, that you can check that one out. But to see all these props just right in front of you, and that the fact that they're available and they're going to go to a great home, you'd imagine. Obviously, somebody who's very passionate about these films. That environment for the auction has got to be an exciting place when it's really going down.
It's absolutely beautiful. Like I said, the amount of tours that we've done around here is fantastic. We're going to be taking a few kind of our highlight pieces down to the auction room with us, which is at 195 Piccadilly in central London. So people will actually be able to come and see some of like these incredible pieces in person if they can't travel all the way to out where we are. But even if people can't make it, they can still watch online, they can still bid online. Like, we live stream it. We want everyone to be a part of this because there's definitely going to be some seriously exciting stuff happening across those 4 days.
4
days. Yeah, I saw that it got expanded one more day. Obviously, it's because you guys are doing another set of you have music memorabilia. That's pretty exciting too. But that's just a whole nother layer. Obviously, that's adds probably a little more work for you guys, but obviously it's still exciting to see more iconic pieces of just anywhere across the board. But music, you guys have a lot of Beatles stuff, unbelievable stuff that you guys have, and then that's really exciting.
Yeah. Beatles, David Bowie, all good.
Unbelievable.
I heard David Grohl too. That's where I'm at.
So it's the Propstore live auction, London 2022. That's what 22. London 22. I guess it still kind of counts. PropstoreAuction.com. Check out the catalog. Like you said, you can sign up and register to bid on these items. We'll be watching. Sian, we're super excited and glad that you could spend some time with us here and show us a little bit more about these props. And we'll be watching them closely. And they better go to a good home. That's all I got to say.
I assure you. I will. I'll vet every single person. Just check that they're up to scratch.
All right. Well, good luck and have a great auction. And like I said, we'll be watching.
Amazing.
Yep,
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure. Thank you.